Welcome to ADSN's pregame coverage of Charlotte Hornets basketball. Tonight the Hornets host the Sacramento Kings here at the Spectrum Center in Uptown Charlotte. I'm Michael Freer along with Ryan Hedrick and former NBA sharpshooter extraordinaire Anthony Morrow. Anthony, Hornets coming back from a 6-game, 10-day road trip. A long time away from here, about 2 weeks, and now they're back at home. Tell me about what the energy is we should expect from a team that's going on that long a road trip.
Hopefully they have a lot of energy. Coming off a 10-day road trip, you got 6 games in that 10 days. It's going to be more mental for them coming back home. They'll have the excitement of the crowd. And they went 2-4. They beat the Spurs, which is good. So they just got to carry that energy on, to this home stretch they're coming into.
Yeah, Ryan, the last game of the homestand really kind of saved that road trip. A big win in San Antonio. And now they got to see if we can do something they really haven't done all year is carry that momentum.
Yeah, I don't think it's all doom and gloom for the Charlotte Hornets. They were 2-4 on the 6-game trip, Mike, but as you know, Anthony, final scores in the NBA can be very deceiving because they were right in that game at the end of 3 quarters in Denver in game number 1. It was 89-84. You can't tell me that's not a winnable game. Don't you agree that final scores can be very deceiving, and that 2-4 trip isn't all doom and gloom for the Hornets, is it?
No, I think honestly it's a good sign for them. Denver's a good team. San Antonio. So I think they're playing well. They got the young guys playing really well. I think they got a nice mixture of young guys and older guys that playing really well together. Coach Borrego's doing a great job. So, like you said, I don't think it's doom and gloom. I think it's looking up, but they got to come into this game with a lot of energy.
Now the Hornets playing the Kings for the second time in 5 days. They went out to Sacramento, lost a halftime lead, and fell by 7 to them. Uncharacteristically, 20 turnovers for the Hornets. This is a team that's second in the NBA in fewest turnovers allowed. They had the lead at the half, and it's a big step, Ryan, for the Kings, who really do a job against the Eastern Conference, 10-3 this year.
Yeah, the Sacramento Kings are one of the preeminent teams in the West against the East. 10-3. Actually, they haven't played that many games, relatively speaking, against the East, but they are beasts in every sense of the word. They have a 16-player roster, Anthony. Average age is 25, and a member of the coaching staff just came over to you and gave you some props and told you that Iman Shumpert is a big reason why they're 23-21.
Absolutely. Not only did he go to Georgia Tech with me, but that's my guy. But his energy is unbelievable. You can see it through even just social media. You see the interaction with the team is something he brought to that team that they didn't have before, kind of a sense and an attitude and a swagger. And, that's what he does. That's his personality in general, not only because he's my friend, but in general, he's like that. He brings that energy everywhere he goes. And I'm glad to see him back healthy and, in a really good situation.
Now, one thing that the Hornets did not have in that game was Cody Zeller, who's been out with an injury. He's had hand surgery. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. And earlier today, he spoke about his injury. Give us an update.
It's kind of a freak play. It was just I just went to push on a guy and kind of caught my finger, and I felt it pop right away. I knew it was broke. So it's a play I've done a million times, and it was some bad luck. But I feel good. Able to do a little bit of stuff on the court, a lot of left-handed stuff, obviously, and my knee, my rib, everything else is healing up well too. So I think it's going to be try to take this kind of off time to my advantage. Yeah, it's tough. Mentally more than anything. I missed so many games in the past year or two, and to have it happen on a free play like that. I spent so much time this summer trying to get healthy so I could play the whole season, and I've talked to you guys a lot about that. So it's tough mentally, and it's it just adds to it when I'm out and the team is struggling. So I'm such a team guy that I'm excited when Kemba's having a big night scoring, and Nick has a big assist night. Marvin gets a lot of open threes. So to see that not necessarily happening as much when I'm out is tough for me to watch mentally. But like I said, my legs feel great. I can do all the left-handed stuff. Just kind of cautious with trying to catch a pass. So I can even do my own ball handling stuff, drive left, finish with the left, stuff like that. So really I feel pretty good otherwise.
So once again, the Hornets will not have Cody Zeller anytime soon, probably till early February at the earliest. Anthony, talk about his energy, his production on this team. It's really sorely missed.
Yeah, definitely. Been a huge part of the team since he's been here. I understand he broke his right hand, so obviously getting back in that rhythm of shooting the ball and confidence in his dominant hand is going to be important. But team's playing well. I know they're all rallying around him, so his mindset's just got to be come back in, fall back in where he was at, and continue to help the team.
Now, Ryan, biggest obstacle for the Hornets tonight in this game is
the backcourt of the Sacramento Kings. I mean, these guys, De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield, are guys that average, 20 points a game. De'Aaron Fox, the second-year man out of Kentucky, is averaging nearly 18. And as you know, Anthony, these guys are catalysts for the team. They're not only three-point shooting specialists, but as they go, so go the Sacramento Kings.
Definitely. That backcourt is very important. I'm happy for Buddy Hield. Obviously, he's found his niche here in Sacramento. De'Aaron Fox, with that speed he has and penetration ability, is great. If we get that jump shot going consistently, he's definitely going to be an all-star for a lot of years.
You know, I also wanted to make one point about the general manager for the Sacramento Kings, Vlade Divac. Has a guy coming off the bench, and he's a Serbian too, and this guy mixed it up with the Hornets last time. He's a main reason that the Kings got the 7-point victory. What kind of dynamic do you see with Vlade Divac mixing and molding these players? Because, as you know, he was a very emotional spirit here in Charlotte and in his former days in Los Angeles.
I think he's doing a great job this year. I think he's had some problems in the not problems in the past, but they've had some chemistry issues in the past for sure. But I think this group of guys that he's assembled, it's taken them a while. It takes some teams longer than others. So I think they're on the right path right now. They're right on the cusp of making the playoffs.
Now, as for keys to the game, Ryan, first I'll talk to you. Give me your keys to the game.
I think they have to hit the glass. They cannot be out-rebounded by this team. Offensive rebounding creates second-chance opportunities, and I really feel like if you get a good sense of where you are in terms of the offensive side of the rebounding ball, the better shot you have at containing those second-chance opportunities, right?
Absolutely. And also, offensive rebounds lead to threes, so you don't want to give up those kick-out threes on second chances. So it's going to be very important. They're a very athletic team, so you got to keep them off the glass.
Transition defense as well. Transition defense has to be key. I was talking to Rick Bonnell in the media room before this broadcast, and we were talking about the inactivity or perceived inactivity of Nicolas Batum, and he said, well, the average fan wouldn't really think of Nicolas Batum as being inactive, but on nights it does seem like Nicolas Batum struggles. But the way he explained it, Anthony, is because Nicolas Batum is tasked with guarding the opposite team's best player on any given night. What type of dynamic, what does that take away from a player when they have to do that on the offensive side of the ball?
It's only a certain amount of players that can do both. So, you know, for Nick, I feel like if he's defensively stopping his man or chasing around his man, switching and guarding 3 or 4 different positions, whatever he gives you offensively is a bonus. So I think he's playing well enough. I know it's been a little inconsistent for him, but one thing has been his defense that's been consistent throughout the season from what I've been seeing. So that's important.
Now, this is the first game of a brief 2-game homestand for the Hornets. They came off that long road trip, but their road issues are not done yet because they still have the rest of this month. They have road games against the Pacers, the Bucks, the Celtics, the Grizzlies. It doesn't get any easier this month.
No, definitely. And that's the NBA. So that's what you signed up for.
Relentless,
it's
right?
Relentless.
Yeah.
I think they're built for it, though. They're off on a good start and in the right path, but they just got to tie up some loose ends and continue to stay committed.
Now, as for predictions tonight, we go through down the road here. Ryan, give me your prediction.
You know, I'm going to take actually Sacramento to win this game in a shootout, 129-122. I think that the Sacramento Kings are young, they're cocky, they just have nothing to lose. And they had a similar road trip in December. It was 4 games, not 6. This is the start of the Kings 6-game road trip, but they were 3-1 on that trip. So, sorry, Hornets fans, I like the Sacramento Kings tonight.
I do too. Sorry to say, coming off that 10-day road trip, coming home, it's not going to be easy. Sacramento, obviously, they're shooting the ball extremely well right now. I think they're going to pull it out. It's going to be a high-scoring game, though.
As for me, I think the problem with the Hornets is anytime they get a little momentum, they fall back down the other way. So I'm going to say the Hornets are going to get the win tonight. They're going to keep the momentum going for one more game with the Spurs or the Suns coming up on Saturday. Let's see if they can actually get a win streak longer than a couple of games. So we'll be back here after the game to give you a post-game wrap. For Michael Freer, Ryan Hedrick, and Anthony Morrow, this has been ADSN's pregame coverage of the Hornets and Kings right here at the Spectrum Center.